Hey guys, today we'll be discussing about Ethereum, which is also a cryptocurrency, much like Bitcoin. We'll be discussing about what is Ethereum, its benefits, derivative strategies, trading strategies. But before we delve deep into this particular topic, we must understand how money evolved in our economy and in the global economy to get a perspective of how different things operate.
So the first stage is barter exchange, which is a simple exchange of goods amongst interested parties. जैसे मेरे पास 1 किलो चावल है एंड मुझे एक गाय चाहिए एंड एक दूसरी पार्टी जिसके पास एक गाय है एंड उसे 1 किलो चावल चाहिए, तो हम एक अग्रीमेंट में आएंगे जिसमें 1 किलो चावल के बदले वो मुझे एक गाय देगा. बट इस केस में एक कॉमन बेस ऑफ एक्सचेंज बनाना बहुत डिफ़िकल्ट हो जाता है या फिर एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग रीच करना डिफ़िकल्ट हो सकता है बिकॉज शायद मुझे एक गाय चाहिए बट दूसरी पार्टी को 1 किलो चावल ना चाहिए, उसे एक पेयर ऑफ शूज़ चाहिए. So then we reach to stage 2, which is metallic money or precious elements, which includes commodities like gold, silver or copper or pearls or diamonds as such, which have high intrinsic value and are rare elements amongst themselves and might be used as a metric of exchange. But carrying elements such as gold or silver from one place to another is not very convenient and might be dangerous. So invention of paper money marked a very important stage in development of money. Paper money is regulated by a central bank of a country like India में RBI है. At present, a very large part of money consists mainly of currency notes or paper money issued by the central bank. Now, with the advent of technology and to improve the ease of making transactions, we have plastic money and digital transfers. These include your UPI transfer, credit cards, debit cards. They do not involve any physical exchange of money, but it all happens digitally. And now to the last stage, that is cryptocurrency.
Before we move into cryptocurrency, we must understand the underlying technology on which it is based, that is blockchain technology.
So, like the name suggests, blockchain is a chain of blocks. It is not a very new technology. It was in fact developed in 1991 by a group of researchers. Then its original purpose was to timestamp documents so that backdating them and tampering with them it was almost impossible. However, till 2009 it was almost unused until Satoshi Nakamoto करके एक आदमी ने Bitcoin बनाया. So a blockchain is a distributed ledger and it is completely open to anyone in this network. They have an interesting property that once some data has been recorded inside a blockchain, it becomes very difficult to change it. So ये काम कैसे करता है? So let us take a closer look at a block. हर एक ब्लॉक में there is some data, एक hash, and जो previous block था उसका hash. The data that is stored inside a block depends on the type of blockchain. A Bitcoin blockchain, for example, stores the details about the transactions, such as the sender, receiver, and the amount of coins. A block also has a hash. You can probably compare a hash to a fingerprint. It identifies a block and all of its contents, and it is always unique, just like a fingerprint. Changing something inside the block will cause the hash to change. So, in other words, hashes are very useful when you want to detect changes to a block. And also, each time a new transaction occurs, a record of that transaction is added to every participant's ledger. The decentralized database managed by multiple participants is also known as distributed ledger technology. We must also understand that simply using hashes is not enough to prevent tampering. Computers these days are very fast and can calculate hundreds and thousands of hashes per second, which could effectively tamper with the block and recalculate all the hashes of the other blocks to make a blockchain valid again. So to mitigate this, blockchains have something called proof of work. It is a mechanism that slows down the creation of new blocks. In Bitcoin's case, it takes around 10 minutes to calculate the required proof of work and add a new block to the chain. Another thing that helps is usually these blockchains are not managed by any central authority. So it is all peer to peer. And whenever someone wants to join this network, he gets the full copy of the blockchain. The node can use this to verify that everything is still in order. So let's say I want to create a new block. What happens is it is notified to all other nodes and they make a decision as to whether allow this another block to be incorporated or not. And in case that they decide that it is not legitimate and has been tampered with, it is not entered into the entire system and it does not form a part of the ledger. So to successfully tamper with a blockchain, you'll need to tamper with all blocks on the chain, redo proof of work for each block across all devices that are part of the network, take control of more than 50% of peer-to-peer network, only then will your tampered block become accepted by everyone else, which is almost impossible.
एक बार जब हम ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी को समझ लेते हैं, it becomes easy for us to understand what cryptocurrency is, because cryptocurrency is nothing but a currency that is based on the blockchain technology. एंड हमने समझा है कि करेंसी क्या होता है. करेंसी इज अ मीडियम ऑफ एक्सचेंज, इट इज़ अ स्टोर ऑफ वैल्यू. अगर आपके पास आज 100 रुपये हैं तो आप एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि 1 साल बाद 2 साल बाद वो 100 रुपये का नोट 100 रुपये की वैल्यू आपको कंजर्व करके देगा. ऑब्वियसली इन्फ्लेशन की वजह से, वेरियस अदर फैक्टर्स की वजह से देयर माइट बी सटल चेंजेस, बट मोर और लेस यू अज्यूम कि द वैल्यू रिमेन्स स्टोर्ड, इट कंटेन्स वैल्यू एंड इट continues to maintain value, and that is how a currency derives its value. तो अगर हम इस entire history को of currency एक दूसरे एंगल से देखें तो it will become very easy for us to understand कि why cryptocurrency came out, right? तो अगर हम गोल्ड के टाइम पे देखें तो everyone wanted to have trust in the value, as he said कि आज 100 रुपये का है, बाद में भी एटलीस्ट कुछ वैल्यू इसकी मेंटेन होनी चाहिए दैट इज कंसिस्टेंट आज के 100 से तब के 100, राइट? तो हमें ये देखना है कि तब हम देखते थे कि गोल्ड की वैल्यू प्रिजर्व होती है बिकॉज गोल्ड इज़ अ प्रेशियस मेटल. तो आज अगर किसी के पास गोल्ड है और वो मुझे दे रहा है एज अ पार्ट ऑफ ट्रांजैक्शन, कुछ साल बाद भी मैं उस वैल्यू को कंजर्व कर सकता हूँ. एंड दैट वैल्यू चेंज फ्रॉम हैविंग वैल्यू इन समबडी इन समथिंग टू हैविंग वैल्यू इन समबडी. दैट इज, हमने गोल्ड को, हमने प्रेशियस मेटल्स को, हमने किसी एक टैंजिबल चीज़ को एक काइंड ऑफ इनटैंजिबल चीज़ में कन्वर्ट कर दिया, दैट वाज मनी. एंड उसके लिए बैकिंग, स्टार्टिंग में वी कैन से द गवर्नमेंट हैड टू यूज गोल्ड एज अ बैकिंग, बट नाउ गवर्नमेंट डू नॉट नीड टू हैव बैकिंग एज गोल्ड. It was just a trust that people have in that currency because the government says that anyone that has this piece of paper will have that particular value that corresponds to that piece of paper. So the trust is now from something to somebody, and that is how currency in itself developed. But the currency that were developed by the central government, these governments had two major things or characteristics or problems that we can say. First, that it was centralized as in the value that it derived and all of the decisions that were made on that currency were coming from a central authority. That central authority gave a decision that a particular piece of paper had value, and that is how people accepted it as a medium of exchange. So it was centralized. Second is that its supply is unlimited, because now it is not being backed by something that has value like gold or something tangible. It is based on trust, and it is based on regulation and a governance that has been created by a third party or a hierarchical above party, right? So the thing is that it's unlimited. A government can print almost unlimited amount of money, and that is why we see that our value, the money that we have, depreciates in value over a period of time, because government has to continuously print money for various reasons, which leads to inflation. So once we understand the shift of trust from trust in something like gold or something tangible to trust in somebody like the government, the next step is very easy to understand, because we know that the money from fiat currency shifted to a digital currency for various reasons, because of the convenience that digital currency provides to us. But digital currency has a very inherent problem in it. This is the problem of double spending. Now, because digital currency is not something tangible which I can hold, what stops me from making digital currency of my own? Because fiat currency तो गवर्नमेंट बनाती है, देयर सम प्रूफ ऑफ इट, देयर सम प्रूफ ऑफ द पेपर दैट दे प्रिंट. बट डिजिटल करेंसी तो मैं अपने खुद से बना लूँगा, एंड आई विल से कि मैं इसको यहाँ स्पेंड कर देता हूँ, यहाँ स्पेंड कर देता हूँ. व्हाट स्टॉप्स मी फ्रॉम स्पेंडिंग दैट सेम करेंसी एट मल्टीपल प्लेसेस? दैट इज हाउ द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ बैंक्स एंड लेजर्स केम अप. तो गवर्नमेंट सेड कि वी विल हैव बैंक्स विच विल कीप नोट ऑफ एवरीथिंग दैट यू डू. सो वंस आई यूज दैट 100 rupees in e-commerce, so I give that 100 rupees to Flipkart in exchange of something, that 100 rupees now belong to Flipkart and not to me. So that is how a ledger system works, and bank keep note of all of these transactions through the ledger system, and that is the need of ledger system. But as we know that there are various problems with government having control over money. We have scams, we have various authoritative regimes, and we have various problems and uncertainties like demonetization, for example, wherein a government can say that a particular fiat currency is just not valid from today, right? So these were the problems that required solution. So the problem at hand is कि we needed a solution that has a ledger system, because double spending का issue आ जाएगा वरना, but at the same time is not centralized. And that is how cryptocurrency came up in 2009 when Satoshi Nakamoto wrote a paper which solved the problem of double spending by keeping a ledger. Now remember, we talked about blockchain technology. So cryptocurrency solves the problem of maintaining an orderly transaction book, maintaining a ledger, but at the same time it's not centralized. No one can control it, no one can have an authoritative regime on it, and no one can, basically manipulate it, exercise authority over it, and that makes it decentralized. And that is how birth of cryptocurrency takes place, which solves the major problems of barter system or gold storage, but at the same time solves problems of modern fiat currency as well. करेंसी के एडवांटेजेस बहुत वैलिड हैं. फर्स्टली इट इज़ डिसेंट्रलाइज, मतलब एक सिंगल अथॉरिटी का इसके ऊपर कोई कंट्रोल नहीं होगा. इट विल नॉट बी ओन्ड बाय अ सिंगल अथॉरिटी विच कैन टेक डिसीजंस एंड चेंज द फेट ऑफ दैट करेंसी. सेकेंडली, ये बहुत प्राइवेट और सिक्योर है. दैट इज हर ट्रांजैक्शन जो क्रिप्टो करेंसी के थ्रू होती है दैट इज हेल्ड थ्रू ब्लॉकचेन. दैट इज वाई इट इज सो सिक्योर, एंड ऑल्सो इट मेंटेन्स प्राइवेसी ऑफ द पार्टी दैट आर इन्वॉल्व इन द ट्रांजैक्शन. The third benefit is कि इसमें इन्फ्लेशन नहीं होगा, because every currency that is derived or is mined has a specific number of coins that are already known. So as we know कि Bitcoin के अंदर सिर्फ 21 million coins ही exist कर सकते हैं. That is why there will be no risk of inflation and no unlimited money that can exist in the environment. And the last benefit is that it's extremely fast and efficient. Although certain currencies are not at that level, but the new ones that are being developed are extremely fast and efficient, which can dramatically improve our financial system. Also have some of the problems as well. Anonymity, which is supposed to be an advantage, is also a problem for illegal activities like terrorism and drug trafficking. Also, there are a lot of problems associated with hacking and loss of data, because once the data is lost, it cannot be recovered, and the currency and that part of currency is lost forever. Also, the currency itself, a lot of cryptocurrencies are just too volatile, and that breaches the basic premise of currency, because currency हमने बोला is a store of value, and if a currency इतनी ज़्यादा volatile होती है तो वो करेंसी का बेसिक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ही फुलफिल नहीं करती है. नेक्स्ट इज़ कि ये ट्रांजैक्शंस बहुत ही रिस्की होती है इन द सेंस कि इसमें कोई रिफंड या कैंसिलेशन नहीं हो सकता है, एंड दैट इज़ वाई अगर एक बार कोई ट्रांजैक्शन हो जाती है इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू रिवर्स इट. थर्ड एंड द लास्ट मेजर प्रॉब्लम विद क्रिप्टो करेंसी इज द प्रॉब्लम दैट इट कॉजेज टू द एनवायरनमेंट, बिकॉज जो माइनिंग प्रोसेस होता है जिसके थ्रू क्रिप्टो करेंसी जनरेट होती है, it's very harmful for the environment as it uses a lot of electricity, and which is why it is unsustainable for a lot of countries to have it. करेंसीज को कुछ सालों में बहुत ज़्यादा बूम मिला है, उनकी एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी बहुत इम्प्रूव हुई है, एंड उनका नोशन इन द पब्लिक आइज हैज़ ऑल्सो इम्प्रूव्ड अ लॉट, एंड विच इज़ वाई द वैल्यू ऑफ इट हैज़ बीन सोरिंग. Almost all of the cryptocurrencies are doing extremely well. Even the new ones which have no proof of concept, which have nothing to show for them, have been increasing like just anything. So let us understand कि ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है. There are multiple reasons for it. Firstly is कि cryptocurrencies की overall acceptability among governments has increased, because starting में governments were just repulsive about it. They were like कि हमें कुछ नहीं सुनना है. Cryptocurrencies would not be in use because it challenged government authority. Cryptocurrencies banks और गवर्नमेंट की अथॉरिटी को ही चैलेंज करता था, एंड दैट इज़ वाई गवर्नमेंट वॉज अगेंस्ट इट. बट नाउ गवर्नमेंट रियलाइजेज कि क्रिप्टो करेंसी कैन को एग्जिस्ट with the government, with the banks, and it has various other uses that it can be used for. And various governments have set up various commissions to look into the matters. Even the Indian government has been coming up with various regulations, which just shows that governments are now interested to deal with this issue at hand. Secondly, there is growing investor confidence, and we have seen that various famous investors who have credible backing behind them have backed cryptocurrencies as a viable option going ahead. We know major investors like Elon Musk who've come behind a lot of these currencies, shows that there is some value that is attached to them. Third is the improvement in technology of blockchain as whole. Cryptocurrency is just another application of blockchain, and we have realized over the years that blockchain as a technology is quite impressive, which has had a trickling down effect on cryptocurrencies, which are now seen to be of extremely viable use for various other things and not just as a currency in its own.
Bitcoin is a generation 1 cryptocurrency and Ethereum is generation 2 cryptocurrency. Bitcoin का जो main aim है that is to decentralize banks and Ethereum का main aim है to decentralize the entire internet. Ethereum से आप उसके नेटवर्क पे जितने भी कंप्यूटर्स उस पर मल्टीपल कोड्स रन कर सकते हो. यू कैन क्रिएट एप्स, यू कैन क्रिएट गेम्स, एंड इसके सारे एप्स एंड गेम्स के डिसीजंस आर टेकन बाय द नेटवर्क इटसेल्फ विद नो सेंट्रलाइज्ड अथॉरिटी. बट टू रन एप्स एंड गेम्स you need some incentive, and क्योंकि cost sinker होती है in this processing and computing process, and to incentivize that you have Ether, which is a sort of cryptocurrency that is native to Ethereum. So Ethereum is much faster than Bitcoin. Ethereum में you need 14 seconds to add another block, whereas Bitcoin requires around 10 minutes. Also Ethereum is scalable. अब जैसे आपका डेटा इंक्रीज होता रहता है, जिसके जैसे डेटा की वॉल्यूम इंक्रीज होती है, तो उसको कंप्यूट करने का टाइम, उसमें प्रोसेसिंग एबिलिटी ज्यादा चाहिए होती है, एंड हर छोटा पीसी या लैपटॉप कैन नॉट प्रोसेस सच लार्ज डेटा. सो देयर इज अ प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट इन फ्यूचर जो बिटकॉइन माइनिंग की कैपेसिटी है दैट इज इनकॉर्पोरेटेड एंड सेंट्रलाइज्ड in the hands of very few people and entities who have such resources to afford such PCs or laptops that have high computing capabilities and very fast processors that can compute such large amounts of data. To counter this problem, Ethereum has introduced sharding. तो what sharding does it? वो एक बहुत बड़े पीस को छोटे छोटे हिस्सों में बांट देता है. जैसे आपका 1 GB का डेटा हो and your PC cannot probably run 1 GB का डेटा. So what it does is 1 GB के डेटा को 250 MB के 4 हिस्सों में बांट देता है, एंड आपका पीसी 250 MB प्रोसेस करता है, कोई और पीसी 250 MB प्रोसेस करता है, एंड व्हेन ऑल दिस प्रोसेसिंग एटसेट्रा इज डन, तो इस सारे डेटा को इकट्ठा ग्लू कर दिया जाता है टुवर्ड्स द एंड टू फॉर्म 1 GB का पैकेज फिर से. दिस इज शार्डिंग, though it is still in implementation, but it has a lot of scope and potential. Another great thing about Ethereum is that it supports NFTs, that are non-fungible tokens. These are in form of music, art, videos, etc. And the blockchain system of Ethereum can allow such information to be stored inside of it, and it has actually formed the basis of all this NFT market that has recently emerged, especially during the pandemic. Another key difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum is the proof of work and the proof of stake concept. Bitcoin operates on a proof of work structure. That is, let's say there are 5 people who are interested in validating a transaction. तो इन 5 लोगों के बीच में कंपटीशन होगा कि कौन वैलिडेट करेगा, एंड सिर्फ एक विनर होगा, एंड बाकी चारों लोगों का एफर्ट एंड द इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कॉस्ट इन कंप्यूटिंग सच अमाउंट ऑफ डेटा, ऑल ऑफ इट गोज टू वेस्ट. सो एंड जो सिंगल पर्सन जीता है, he has to charge a higher fees so as to cover all these costs that have incurred. So to counter this, Ethereum has a proof of stake concept under which जो decision होता है as to who will validate a particular transaction is based on a lucky draw. तो एक randomized basis पे select होता है amongst those parties interested कि who will validate a particular transaction. So and in order to prevent any sort of tampering or any illegal activities, to become a part of this lucky draw, you have to invest your own Ethereum. कि अगर किसी ने गलती की या किसी ने कोई गलत डिसीजन लिया, तो वो Ethereum चार्ज कर लिया जाएगा as a sort of punitive damages. And your chance of getting selected as a probable validator of a particular transaction is higher when you invest more. So it is directly proportional to the amount of Ethereum that you have given as a deposit. But at the end, it is still a very random process.
Another thing about Ethereum are smart contracts, which in a dumbed down sense are self-executable contracts that occur when certain conditions are met. If this, then that. So let us take an example. Say ईशान ने मुझसे 1000 रुपये बोरो किए एंड उससे रीपे कराने के लिए मेरे को बार बार विनतियां करनी पड़ी या बार बार रिमाइंडर देने पड़े. टू अवॉइड दैट हम लोग एक स्मार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में आ जाते हैं. उसकी कंडीशंस ये हैं, जैसे ही उसके अकाउंट में 1000 रुपये ट्रांसफर होंगे तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली मेरे अकाउंट में ट्रांसफर हो जाएगा इतना बैलेंस. तो जैसे ही ईशान के अकाउंट में 1000 रुपये ट्रांसफर आता है वो वैसे ही मेरे अकाउंट में ट्रांसफर हो जाएगा एंड उसका रिपेमेंट हो जाएगी. तो दैट इज हाउ स्मार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स.
Trading in cryptocurrency is very similar to trading in the stock market. Like you trade with various stocks, you trade with various commodities, and it's very similar in the sense that you would need a wallet like thing, right? So like we have the demat account जिसके अंदर हम अपने shares रखते हैं, we would need a crypto wallet जिसके अंदर हम अपनी cryptocurrencies को store कर सकते हैं. And similar to a stock exchange wherein we trade in various products like stocks and other commodities like derivatives and other products, we would need a crypto exchange wherein these coins or these cryptocurrencies would be listed and we can trade them. So what we would need to do is sign up on an exchange which would have those currencies that we want to trade in. Major exchanges have almost all of the major currencies that people generally trade in, but it's better to first check the list of currencies that a particular exchange has before going on it. So हमें क्या करना है, हमें एक wallet चाहिए and हम देखेंगे कि बहुत सारे exchanges serve the purpose of wallet as well nowadays. So we would just need to sign in, have our KYC done, information, and then fund it through our bank account, add some money, and then we can trade either through the money that we have, that we can buy the cryptocurrency, or we can trade within cryptocurrencies as well. तो अगर हमारे पास cryptocurrency A है and we want to convert it into B, it can be converted through an exchange. So this is the basic overviewistic trading process जो हमें चाहिए होता है, and it is very basic and similar to what we see in the stock market. We would just need to understand the exchanges wherein we can work now. Cryptocurrency exchanges दो major types के होते हैं. First is centralized crypto exchanges, second is decentralized crypto exchanges. Centralized crypto exchanges are entirely owned and managed by a third party which will do all the transactions on your behalf and even hold the coins and hold the cryptocurrency on your behalf. On the other hand, decentralized crypto exchanges आपको अलाउ करते हैं पीयर टू पीयर ट्रांजैक्शंस करने के लिए एंड दे विल नॉट एक्ट ऑन योर बिहाफ. दे विल जस्ट प्रोवाइड यू द प्लेटफॉर्म जिसके अंदर दो पार्टीज कैन हैव सेपरेट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स एंड कैन डील विद ईच अदर विदाउट द इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ अ सेपरेट पार्टी. तो बहुत ही बेसिक डिफरेंस है इन दोनों के बीच में, एंड दोनों ही टाइप्स के एक्सचेंजेस में एक कुछ इनहेरेंट बेनिफिट्स और कुछ इनहेरेंट डिसएडवांटेजेस हैं जिसकी वजह से कुछ सेक्शन ऑफ सोसाइटी प्रेफर करते हैं एक स्पेसिफिक टाइप ऑफ एक्सचेंज. तो सबसे पहले बात करते हैं सेंट्रलाइज्ड क्रिप्टो एक्सचेंजेस के बारे में. तो द बेस्ट पार्ट अबाउट दीज एक्सचेंजेस इज कि एक थर्ड पार्टी पूरा एंटायर ट्रांजैक्शन पूरे एक एंटायर प्लेटफॉर्म को मैनेज कर रही है, विच इज़ वाई दीज आर वेरी कन्वीनियंट. इनका इंटरफेस बहुत ही अच्छा होता है एंड इट्स वेरी ईजी टू ट्रेड ऑन दीज प्लेटफॉर्म्स. सेकेंडली, ये प्लेटफॉर्म बहुत रिलायबल होते हैं बिकॉज आपको एक सेकेंड एनोनिमस पार्टी से डील नहीं करना है, आपको एक रिलायबल थर्ड पार्टी एक पूरा एनवायरनमेंट प्रोवाइड कर रही है. थर्ड इज दीज exchanges have almost all the volume. According to some estimate, 99% of all of the transaction, all of the trading that happens in cryptocurrencies is done on these centralized crypto exchanges, because of which वॉल्यूम्स आपको मिलते हैं, आपको ट्रेडिंग बहुत आसानी से होती है, यू कैन एग्जीक्यूट योर स्ट्रैटेजीज एंड ऑफकोर्स रिलायबिलिटी बहुत ज़्यादा इंप्रूव होती है. बट बहुत इनहेरेंट डिसएडवांटेजेस हैं इन थर्ड पार्टी प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे. फर्स्ट इज दीज आर वेरी प्रोन टू हैकिंग, बिकॉज जैसे आपको पता है कि 99% ट्रेडिंग इन्हीं प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे हो रही है, तो हैकर्स एंड डिजिटल इन्वेडर्स को ऑलरेडी पता है कि ऑलमोस्ट entire transaction, almost entire coin base, the crypto base is there on these platforms, और ये platforms आपके behalf पर इन currency को hold भी करते हैं. तो बहुत ज़्यादा risk इन terms में बढ़ जाता है कि these are very prone to hacking, and बहुत सारे हमने cases सुने हैं जिसके अंदर the entire crypto base has been taken up by hackers, and they have asked for huge sums of money or cryptocurrency in exchange for releasing these funds. Also, inherently इनकी security is not at that level, because बहुत सारे white hackers भी हैं जिन्होंने इनके defaults और इनके problems जो security systems हैं उनके problems को public light में लाया है through hacking, but eventually returning the money because they just wanted to show कि क्या problems हैं and इनको improve करना चाहिए. Another problem is counterparty risk. This is the problem that is faced by huge organizations which trade in crypto, because ये जो थर्ड पार्टी प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं वो अपने आप में एक कंपनीज ही हैं जो आपको एक प्लेटफॉर्म दे रही हैं, एंड दीज कंपनीज देमसेल्व्स आर नॉट सो बिग. एंड जो ट्रेडर्स हैं इसके अंदर, जो बहुत बड़े बड़े बैंक्स हैं या फिर नॉट इवन बैंक्स, बहुत बड़े ट्रेडिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, वो इन थर्ड पार्टी प्लेटफॉर्म से खुद ही बहुत ज़्यादा बड़े हैं. तो उनको एक काउंटर पार्टी रिस्क रहता है कि इफ दीज थर्ड पार्टी प्लेटफॉर्म्स खुद ही मैनेज कर पाएंगे इतने ज़्यादा फंड्स या फिर नहीं. एंड थर्ड इज ट्रांजैक्शन फीस. ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस एंड ये प्लेटफॉर्म्स बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रांजैक्शन फीस लेते हैं, ड्यू टू विच फीजिबिलिटी नहीं होती है बहुत बार बहुत सारी ट्रेड्स के अंदर. एंड दीज आर दी एग्जैक्ट डिसएडवांटेजेस जो कि एक डिसेंट्रलाइज एक्सचेंज हमें पूरी करता है. फर्स्ट इज कि दीज आर नॉट प्रोन टू हैकिंग, बिकॉज इनके अंदर इतने ज़्यादा लाइमलाइट में नहीं होते ये एक्सचेंजेस कि इनको बहुत ज़्यादा रिस्क रहे बाकी लोगों से. सेकेंड इज कि ये लोग बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रांजैक्शन फीस नहीं लेते, बहुत सारे मार्जिन्स नहीं लेते फॉर यू टू ट्रेड, विच मेक्स योर लेवरेज ईजियर, विच ऑल्सो मेक्स योर ट्रेड ईजियर. थर्ड इज दीज आर द प्लेटफॉर्म्स विच हेल्प यू विद एनोनिमिटी. बाकी एक्सचेंजेस के अंदर जो सेंट्रलाइज होते हैं उसके अंदर आपको अपना KYC कराना होता है, आपको वॉलेट से अटैच करना होता है, अपना बैंक अकाउंट डिटेल्स देने होते हैं. बट इधर आप पीयर टू पीयर ट्रांजैक्शन में इन्वॉल्व होते हो, एनोनिमिटी मेंटेन रहती है, जो कि एक बेसिक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है क्रिप्टो करेंसी का एंड उसकी सक्सेस का. बट अलॉन्ग विद दिस इसके अंदर बहुत इनहेरेंट डिसएडवांटेजेस भी हैं जो हमें डिस्कस करने चाहिए. फर्स्ट इज कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी. जैसे हमने बताया कि सेंट्रलाइज प्लेटफॉर्म्स में एक प्रॉपर एक्सचेंज होता है, एक प्रॉपर आपको एनवायरनमेंट मिलता है जिधर आप ट्रेड करते हो. इधर वो बहुत हद तक नहीं होता है, जिसकी वजह से आपको कॉम्प्लेक्स फील होगा बहुत बार, एंड बहुत बार कन्वीनियंस नहीं मिलेगा. एंड ऑल्सो बिकॉज यहाँ पर वॉल्यूम्स नहीं होते, आपको रिलायबिलिटी का बहुत इशू होगा, एंड ऑल्सो आप ट्रेड को एग्जीक्यूट बहुत ज़्यादा ईजिली नहीं कर पाएंगे, बिकॉज ट्रेडिंग स्ट्रैटेजीज आर अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स स्ट्रिक्टली रिलाइड अपॉन द वॉल्यूम्स सो दैट योर ट्रेड कैन गेट थ्रू. इसलिए वॉल्यूम्स के ना होने के वजह से एंड एक प्रॉपर ट्रेडिंग प्लेटफॉर्म के ना होने की वजह से थोड़े प्रॉब्लम्स आ सकते हैं. सेकेंडली बहुत सारे जो ऐसे प्लेटफॉर्म्स होते हैं जो पीयर टू पीयर ट्रांजैक्शंस अलाउ करते हैं, इसमें फिएट कन्वर्जन्स, आपकी जो नॉर्मल करेंसी है US डॉलर्स INR, इसके अंदर आप कन्वर्जन नहीं कर सकते हैं बहुत सारे डिसेंट्रलाइज क्रिप्टो एक्सचेंजेस में, जो कि बहुत इनकन्वीनियंस क्रिएट करता है. आप सिर्फ एक क्रिप्टो से दूसरे क्रिप्टो में ट्रेड कर सकते हैं, विद इन क्रिप्टो आप ट्रेडिंग कर सकते हैं, एक्सचेंज कर सकते हैं, बट बहुत सारे एक्सचेंजेस आपको फिएट करेंसी के अंदर ट्रांजैक्शन अलाउ नहीं करते. सो इसलिए बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट हो जाते हैं. सो दीज आर द एडवांटेजेस एंड डिसएडवांटेजेस ऑफ centralized and decentralized crypto exchanges. And if you are an amateur and if you want to start trading in these exchanges, it is beneficial and advised for you to involve yourself in centralized crypto exchanges, because इसके अंदर एक sense of reliability है, and since you are not investing huge amounts of money in thousands of crores, तो counterparty risk भी आपको नहीं रहता है. इसलिए it will be better for you to involve yourself in recognized trading platforms which have huge volumes and which are reliable.
Another great thing about cryptocurrency is that they also have derivatives. So, what are derivatives? They are essentially secondary contracts that derive their value from a primary underlying asset. In this case, cryptocurrency, be it Ethereum or Bitcoin. अगर आपको स्पॉट मार्केट में प्रॉफिट करना होता है तो you have to actually get ownership of that particular asset to sell it and buy it, and the only way you can make profit in spot market is through actual ownership. But in derivatives market, you can actually profit on the difference in prices of these various cryptocurrencies without even actually ever owning that particular asset. So there are three types of major derivative contracts that are famous in the cryptocurrency market, that are futures, options, and perpetual contracts. A crypto future is simply an agreement between two parties to purchase and sell a particular cryptocurrency, say Ethereum in our cases, at a given price at a specific future date, hence the name. However, neither party is required to actually own that particular asset, Ethereum. They can simply settle at a future date that is pre-decided in dollars or any predetermined currency that they have. So let us understand with an example. Well, the first thing that the trader would have to decide is the duration of the contract, be it monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, or quarterly. Crypto exchanges offer a lot of duration. And suppose you want to trade weekly Ethereum contracts, each contract is worth $1 of Ethereum when the price is $10,000 of one Ethereum. This means to open a position that is worth one Ethereum, you'll have to buy 10,000 contracts.
At this point, a trader can either go long, bet that the price will increase, or short, bet that the price will decrease. Whichever direction you choose, whenever you open a position, the exchange platform essentially matches you with someone going in the opposite direction. 1 week later, when the contracts must be settled, one of the traders will have to pay the other. If you choose to go short and a week later the price is moved down, you can make a profit. If the price is moved up, you experience a loss.
Ethereum options are also crypto derivative contracts that follow the prices of Ethereum, but they do not have to be settled at a predetermined future date. Hence the name options. They do not have an obligation to settle this particular contract at a predetermined future date at predetermined prices. Instead, they have a right to do so. Before any one of you explores options in crypto options, I suggest you read about the basics of options, that are call and put. Call simply means that you have a right to buy an asset, that is crypto, at a predetermined price up to a particular date in an American option. And a put option, when you go long on a put option, you have a right to sell that particular asset on a particular date, up to a particular date at a predetermined price in an American put option.
For example, if you purchase a call option for Ethereum at $10,000 that expires in a week, which means that 1 week later, regardless of where the price is at, you have the option to buy one Ethereum for $10,000. If the price of Ethereum has risen to $11,000, you would certainly exercise your right, as you can purchase one Ethereum for a cheaper price and then sell it for a $1,000 profit. If the price has dropped below $10,000, you would simply choose to let the option expire, as purchasing an Ethereum at the strike price would translate to a loss.
It is important to understand that options do not provide investors with a risk-free method of crypto derivative strategy or investing. Each option has its own price called premium, which varies based on market conditions. So when a trader lets their option expire without exercising their right, they still have to they still have to lose whatever premium that they have already paid in buying that particular option. One of the most unique crypto derivatives that I've seen are perpetual contracts. Because unlike futures and options, they do not have a predetermined strike price, strike rate, or a predetermined date by which they have to be executed. Instead, they can keep the position. Traders can keep the position open for as long as they want. There are few conditions that they have to maintain a minimum balance known as margin of any particular cryptocurrency in their bank account, and the price of the contract is tethered to that particular underlying asset. Because unlike in futures and other contracts, where the prices of both of these, where the future price and the actual asset price converges, since it has an unlimited life and position can be kept open for as long as they want, the prices diverge a lot. And one of the solutions to this problem is to get the opposing party to pay one of the involved trading parties. Another thing that is involved in this particular crypto derivative is funding rate. So let's say a lot of traders have opened a long position in this particular crypto derivative, and the price has inflated a lot and is diverging from the price of the underlying asset due to it having no obligation as to when to close a particular position. So the funding rate forces the long buyers to pay short, so as to discourage opening of more long positions and to encourage them to close their positions and even short that particular crypto derivative so as to get its price to converge with the original underlying asset. And vice versa is true when the price of the particular perpetual contract is falling down and the funding rate goes negative and all shorts have to pay long. And to be clear, all this payment is made directly between traders. Exchanges do not collect any funding payments.
Let's say your perpetual contracts are worth $1 of an Ethereum. If the price is at $10,000, you can open a position of 10,000 contracts to trade the equivalent of 1 Ethereum. If you are going long, you can hold your position for as long as you want until the price has increased to a level that you are satisfied with. This could be hours, days, or even months. Once you choose to close your position, the exchange will take care of paying you the difference between your entry price and the current market price. This payment is essentially coming from another trader that chose to short and lost money. The only fees you must consider are the aforementioned funding rate payments and any additional exchange fees.
So now let us talk about arbitrage. What is arbitrage? It refers to a simultaneous purchase and sale of an asset on different exchanges through different conversions or through different financial products so as to make a riskless profit. How arbitrage makes money is through little discrepancies in the pricing or the listed price of assets on different exchanges or through different conversions. This happens a lot, especially crypto markets में, because crypto markets as compared to stock markets अभी at this level are very inefficient because उनकी working में इतनी liquidity नहीं है and इतनी efficiency नहीं है in terms of updating the information. And we know कि crypto is traded in a lot of exchanges which are centralized and decentralized. It also has a lot of different coins, a lot of different products that you can trade with, and also there are various financial products which are based now on cryptocurrencies, which is referred to as decentralized finance. And in तीनों के ही information update में there can be lot of discrepancies that might crop up and which will help us get riskless profit. Now let us talk about various kinds of arbitrage opportunities that might exist. The first is the most common one, which is the exchange arbitrage. Now what is exchange arbitrage? As the name suggests, दो different exchanges पे अगर सेम ही एसेट सेम ही क्रिप्टो करेंसी का प्राइस डिफरेंट लिस्टेड है तो आप उससे एक आर्बिट्राज अपॉर्चुनिटी क्रिएट करके रिस्कलेस प्रॉफिट कमा सकते हैं. टेकिंग द एग्जांपल, इथीरियम currently is trading at around 2,64,000 rupees इंडियन रुपीस के हिसाब से. नाउ लेट अस अज्यूम कि वो किसी एक एक्सचेंज पर ट्रेड हो रहा है 2,64,000 में एंड किसी दूसरे एक्सचेंज पर ट्रेड हो रहा है एट 2,60,000. तो आप क्या करेंगे? You will buy the asset at 2,60,000 from one exchange and उस asset को दूसरे exchange में convert करा लेंगे, which is very easy, especially with cryptocurrencies, that you can take it from one exchange to other and then उसको 2,64,000 में sell कर देंगे. You might think कि ऐसा opportunities बहुत ज़्यादा rare हैं, but it is quite common at least in the cryptocurrency market. So taking the example, there was a specific coin that came into the market in October 2020 and when it debuted, it made its debut in this market. It was very volatile and it took a lot of time for exchanges to continuously update information. So at one exchange, a coin was traded at $30 and दूसरे exchange पे at the same time that same coin was being traded at $200. Now you can see कि a strategy as simple as exchange arbitrage could have made your money 7x from $30 to almost 7 times of it, that is $200. Now of course it remains for very limited period of time, but the margins or the arbitrage, the extent of arbitrage that is available in cryptocurrency market is greater than in the normal markets. Now coming to triangular arbitrage. What is triangular arbitrage? It makes use of three different assets and makes use of the exchange rate that exists between three different assets, so that when you exchange from A to B, B to C and then C to again to A, you would have a lot more or a little bit more of that same asset, and so basically you would start making more money. Take an example. Suppose market के अंदर तीन major cryptocurrencies हैं A, B and C and we have 1 lakh rupees to invest in the market. A का price is rupees 100 per unit and हम बाकी तीनों के exchange rates को assume करेंगे. B to A का exchange rate is 1.5, C to B exchange rate is 0.8 and A to C exchange rate is 0.9. Now, once we invest 1 lakh rupees in cryptocurrency A, हमें 1000 units of A मिलेंगे. And when we convert that A unit into B, we would get 1500 units and that once converted to C gives us 1200 units. अब हम देखेंगे कि जब C को हम वापस A में कन्वर्ट करते हैं, इट गिव्स अस 1080 यूनिट्स, एंड वी रियलाइज कि बिना कुछ किए 1000 units of A became 1080 units of A, and once these units are again converted into cash, we have 1,08,000 rupees, and without doing anything we earned a riskless profit of 8,000 rupees. Next comes statistical arbitrage. Statistical arbitrage is a little complex because it makes use of a lot of mathematical models to find unique correlation between certain commodities and make portfolios out of them. So it will find cryptocurrencies which have a perfectly positive or a perfectly negative correlation but have been performing differently. So it will make one portfolio which has been performing extremely well and one portfolio that has not been doing well, even though they have a perfectly positive or negative correlation, and pit them against each other by having opposite trades like going short on one and going long on the other to make arbitrage opportunities which are not exactly arbitrage, but the risk is reduced to such an extent that it is almost risk free. The next that comes up is DEFI arbitrage, and ये सबसे ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग है because this is highly innovative and ये बहुत ज़्यादा latest है. And as we talked about, DEFI stands for decentralized finance. Decentralized finance is when people have been coming up with projects of their own which are transparent and autonomous, and these are built on cryptocurrencies. Like DeFi projects बहुत सारे are based on cryptocurrency blockchain. What these do is they make a separate market or they make an innovative financial product जिसके अंदर regulation cannot be done by a third party and people can independently trade and work on these projects. Like for example, there are a lot of lending projects that are there wherein you can buy or exchange or lend or borrow your various assets. For example, आप किसी एक एसेट को किसी एक एक्सचेंज पे बोरो कर सकते हो एट प्रॉब्ली 10%, एंड सिमिलरली दूसरे एक्सचेंज पे इट इज़ अवेलेबल एट 11%. तो बहुत ही सिंपल सा आर्बिट्राज अपॉर्चुनिटी एग्जिस्ट करता है. बट बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स आर्बिट्राज अपॉर्चुनिटीज भी क्रिएट हो सकते हैं बिकॉज दीज हैव अ लॉट ऑफ कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोडक्ट्स विच कैन व्हेन ट्रेडेड विद इन द एक्सचेंज कैन लीड टू अ लॉट ऑफ प्रॉफिट्स. Understand DeFi arbitrage using an example of V2 compound. V2 compound एक DeFi प्रोजेक्ट है जो कि एक मनी मार्केट की तरह काम करता है जिसके अंदर आप अपने एसेट्स को लेंड कर सकते हैं, बोरो कर सकते हैं विदाउट थर्ड पार्टी रेगुलेशंस. Now let us assume कि there is a cryptocurrency A which can be borrowed at 5% on V2 compound. At the same time, there is a cryptocurrency B that can be lent or supplied at 10% rate of interest. Now let us assume कि हमारे पास already B cryptocurrency है. Now what we will do is we will use B currency as a collateral and borrow cryptocurrency A at 5% rate of interest. Now in some exchange हम A cryptocurrency को B cryptocurrency में exchange करा लेंगे and then we will lend that newly converted cryptocurrency at 10% rate of interest, making 5% as a spread and using this arbitrage to make money. इवन दो आर्बिट्राज अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ बहुत ईजी लगती हैं बिकॉज उसके अंदर रिस्कलेस प्रॉफिट है एंड सेकेंडली उसके अंदर आपको खुद से एनालिसिस नहीं करना है, एक स्ट्रैटेजी डेवलप नहीं करनी है. सो अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल फील कि दीज स्ट्रैटेजीज आर वेरी ईजी टू इम्प्लीमेंट, बट बहुत सारे रिस्क होते हैं, बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स हैं दैट कम विद दीज आर्बिट्राज अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ एंड वन शुड बी वेरी केयरफुल एंड बी अवेयर ऑफ ऑल ऑफ दीज रिस्क. द फर्स्ट इज टाइमिंग. ये जो आर्बिट्राज अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ होती हैं वो बहुत ज़्यादा लिमिटेड टाइम के लिए होती हैं, समटाइम्स इवन फॉर a quarter of a second or a part of a millisecond, and it can stretch on to minutes as well. तो आपको हर बार नहीं पता होता है कि ये वाली स्ट्रैटेजी या ये वाली आर्बिट्राज अपॉर्चुनिटी कितनी देर तक एग्जिस्ट करेगी. तो मैनुअली आर्बिट्राज करना बहुत ज़्यादा रिस्की होता है एंड अ लॉट ऑफ कंपनीज इन्वॉल्व बॉट्स एंड ऑटोमेटेड arbitragers which can help them with these things. So for novice or for amateur people, it's very risky strategy to get done with. Second is volume. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि आपको लगता है कि आप एक एक्सचेंज से खरीद के दूसरे एक्सचेंज में आर्बिट्राज कर सकते हैं, बट अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि आप एक एक्सचेंज से खरीद तो लेंगे बट दूसरे एक्सचेंज में उतना वॉल्यूम ही नहीं होगा कि जिस प्राइस पे आप बेचना चाहते हैं उस प्राइस पे कोई और खरीदे, एंड दैट इज व्हेन यू वुड बी स्टक विद अ पर्टिकुलर करेंसी इवन दो यू डिड नॉट वांट इट इन द फर्स्ट प्लेस. Third is, a lot of times there is a lot of confusion across various exchanges and various coins. For example, CyberMile is a project and a cryptocurrency, and Comet is a separate cryptocurrency and a separate project, but इन दोनों के ही ticker is labeled as CMT, and that is why जब आप एक से दूसरे में जाएंगे and since time बहुत कम होता है, तो while executing you can type in a different CMT or select a different option, or because both the tickers have the same name and there can be many problems with respect to that. Similarly बहुत सारे ऐसे कॉइन्स होते हैं, बहुत सारे ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट्स होते हैं जिनके सिमिलर नेम होते हैं, जिसके अंदर सिमिलर टिकर्स होते हैं, जिसकी वजह से बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट हो जाते हैं. द नेक्स्ट थिंग इज these crypto exchanges, crypto wallets have huge withdrawing fees and huge trading fees. So before you execute a trading opportunity, you should calculate if having that arbitrage trade would give you a profit net or not, because आपको दोनों exchanges के अंदर डिपॉजिट और विड्रॉल फीस को अकाउंट करना होगा एंड ट्रेडिंग फीस को भी अकाउंट करना होगा, एंड यू हैव टू सी कि नेट के अंदर आपको प्रॉफिट हो रहा है या नहीं. So these are all the risks that you need to take care of and need to make sure that you do not get into traps, because a lot of times there are various pump and dump schemes also, जिसके अंदर एक specific coin को बहुत ज़्यादा pump करते हैं and people feel that we can buy this currency and then sell it on some other exchange because the price there is not updated yet. But a lot of times people get trapped because once it reaches a certain level, there is no seller and no buyer. The volumes just vanish for that cryptocurrency and you are stuck with it, and a lot of amateurs or non-institutional buyers are in the end stuck or left with these various schemes. So you need to be very sure about the risk that you take and be sure that your strategy works out and arbitrage is not successful all the times. आज के अलावा भी बहुत सारी स्ट्रैटेजीज होती हैं जो ट्रेडर्स यूज़ करते हैं टू मेक प्रॉफिट्स, एंड अ लॉट ऑफ देम आर यूज्ड इवन इन द स्टॉक मार्केट. So one of them is scalping. Scalping is generally used wherein the volumes are very high. So Ethereum specifically, जिसके बारे में हम अभी स्टडी कर रहे हैं, उसके लिए ये वैलिड है क्योंकि इट इज़ वन ऑफ द फ्यू करेंसीज जो बहुत ही प्राइमरी हैं, जिसमें वॉल्यूम्स काफ़ी ज़्यादा होते हैं. तो स्कैल्पिंग इज़ व्हेन यू ट्रेड फॉर very less seconds. So you cut your position, you buy and then sell within a matter of seconds. तो स्कैल्पिंग के अंदर यू मेक यूज ऑफ वेरी स्मॉल मूवमेंट. जैसे कोई प्राइस 2,64,000 से फॉर एग्जांपल 2,65,000 पे जाएगा, विच इज़ इन अ मैटर ऑफ सेकेंड्स, बिकॉज अगर हम देखें क्रिप्टो करेंसीज के अंदर मूवमेंट अप टू 30%, 40% इन अ डे भी हो जाता है. तो 2,64,000 से 2,65,000 जाना इज जस्ट अ मैटर ऑफ सेकेंड. एंड जब सिर्फ एक डायरेक्शनल मूव होता है, आप उसी सेकेंड में बाय करके विद इन सेकेंड्स यू कैन एग्जिट, and if you invest a considerable amount of money, you can make ultimately a profit from it. So this is known as scalping. Other thing that generally people use specifically while trading in cryptocurrencies, and it works in Ethereum as well, is range trading. Now what happens with range trading is कि क्रिप्टो मार्केट्स के लिए स्पेसिफिकली ये मार्केट्स का मार्केट साइज जो है वो अभी इतना ज़्यादा नहीं हुआ है कि वहाँ परफेक्ट कंपटीशन हो, इन द सेंस कि इन जनरल स्टॉक मार्केट्स के अंदर कोई भी मार्केट प्लेयर इतना बड़ा नहीं होता है कि वो मार्केट को इंडिपेंडेंटली बहुत ज़्यादा मूव कर सके, कंसिडरेबली मूव कर सके. बट क्रिप्टो मार्केट्स के अंदर इवन नाउ इन स्पेसिफिक एक्सचेंजेस जो स्पेसिफिक बायर्स हैं, जो बहुत ह्यूज इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, दे हैव द एबिलिटी to move the market and manipulate the market in a way that helps them with profit, and that is why they keep the they keep the prices of a particular cryptocurrency within a range for specific period of time so that they can make profits through that range trading. And if you are able to identify the range in which these manipulators or these influential buyers are keeping the price in, you can make significant profits through the directions, because you would see multiple breakouts which might fail because of the resistance and support levels that would be created through that range. And if you are able to identify that range and identify the movement through various technical indicators, the most famous of them being relative strength index, you'll be able to make a lot of profits. In addition to that, there are various other strategies that people use. So there are a little complex methods like staking or miner extracted value, which are specific to people who have considerable interest in having stake in the currency itself, in having stake in the blockchain itself. But otherwise, using technical indicators, using following various news articles, because the market itself is very volatile, can help in making a lot of profits, at least in these markets. But a caution, at least for the crypto markets, is that while you are day trading or swing trading, it's very essential that you follow the principle of money management, which is that you should be willing to manage your money and not go all out, and just keep on following up on your losses, and make it to an extent that it's not a speculation or not trading but gambling, because you are just following up on your losses and not keeping track of your money, especially in these markets which are highly volatile. So while you are day trading, make sure that you are having a proper money management strategy, wherein you are investing, diversifying in various currencies, and understanding the movement of the market, to understand that it's probably not the day of a particular currency, and extract value and extract money from a currency even if it's not giving you the perfect profit. So these are the basic overview of the strategies that you can adopt. Obviously, there are a lot of other things that you can get into once you have a better understanding of it.